What's up, everyone? It is Nate here from Truly Daebak with another episode of the QueendomCast. If you don't know, Truly Daebak is a YouTube channel where we talk about Korean pop music and Korean pop culture, mostly focused on the music. And we do a weekly podcast called the Daebakcast, where we review albums and just talk about what's new in K-pop news. But this is a special podcast where we are talking about the new show Queendom. If you don't know what that is, go check out the first episode of the QueendomCast and it will explain. But basically it's just a competition show for girl groups in K-pop. And I am joined by Sam, who is
Hello.
my other regular host. Next week we might have a special guest, so that'll be fun.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, it will be. There's gonna be I'm just gonna put it out there. There'll probably be a lot more energy on the show next week, if we do get this guest on. But yeah, so this week this is coming out very quickly after episode 1. That won't be the case going forward. We were behind when we recorded the first episode, so there was already 3 episodes of the show out and about to be a 4th. But starting from this coming out, we're going to be putting out an episode every 2 weeks, because we're basically just going to do an episode for every 2 episodes of the show. And that's assuming the subs keep coming out at the rate that they're coming out at, because they're coming out at an insane rate that I've never seen for a show before.
They really picked up the pace.
They were out like 12 hours after the show aired, which is like insane for survival show.
Especially because like the first 2 took so long.
Did they?
But then it's like episode 3 came and it was like bam, like that day they were there.
Yeah. And that for an hour and a half long like show, that just never happens. So
yeah.
Hopefully that continues and we can put out the episodes like right after the episodes of the show air. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I'll go through our usual stuff of subscribe to the show, to the YouTube channel if you enjoy this, like the video, comment your thoughts on the show, our show and Queendom. And also this is available on audio services, so you can get it on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, most podcast services, and go review us on iTunes if you can, because it helps us a lot. And then finally, we have a Discord server, which is an awesome place. Come hang out, talk to us about anything in K-pop or even non-K-pop related stuff. We have gaming chats, we have TV show, movie chats, like pretty much anything. Fighting sports, which I always forget exists because I'm not tuned into that world, but it is active. So yeah, there's plenty of things to chat about. It's a nice little small community of people that like K-pop and like debating what's good in K-pop, because we have very differing tastes, and we yell at each other, but it's all in good fun.
Yep, it's a family.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about episodes 3 and 4 of Queendom today. So that is basically the second round of performances and everything that entails in that second round. So yeah, I guess we can get started. We're gonna start out first. The first part of the show was the winner of the last round, which was I-dle, got to pick the order of the performances for this next round. And so they basically ended up, they decided first, they wanted Mamamoo to go first, which Mamamoo was happy about because they liked going first.
Yeah, Mamamoo's like all about it. Well, They also said, because it's like, well, they scored second last time, so they're like, oh, it doesn't matter if we're first, the crowd still remembers us. So I don't think it's really as big of a penalty as some people think it is. I already forgot. It's like, usually you want to go first or you want to go last. Like, those are the two like key. Like, you want to be first so everyone like compares to you, or you're last because you leave the big impression. It's the stuff in the middle that gets forgotten.
Gets a little muddled. Yeah, you have to put on much more like memorable show.
Yeah.
After that, they put themselves 5th, basically because they wanted to be as far away from Mamamoo as possible, but I guess they weren't confident enough to be 6th.
Yeah.
And then they put AOA 3rd, because... And AOA was fine with that because they just didn't want to go second. which eventually happens. After that, they put Lovelyz 6, that Lovelyz was happy about. There, obviously, like a lot of people think, like we just said, going 6th is a good, like you're the last person to go, so you're easily you're the freshest in everyone's minds. Then they put OMG 4th. So their thinking was they wanted OMG and Lovelyz to be before and after them because they knew there would be like a different style.
Yeah.
And kind of just like contrast with what they were doing, which didn't actually end up working out because of Lovelyz, but it was a good strategy at the time. And then Minnie moved AOA to 2nd and put Bomb 3rd because she thought putting AOA and Mamamoo next to each other would be nice since they're covering each other's songs. And then AOA was upset because they wanted to not be 2nd, and they ended up being 2nd. I thought it was funny this whole episode, or like these whole 2 episodes, the whole running gag of Jimin not caring, saying she doesn't care about
especially at the
rankings or like the scores and stuff. Yeah, at the end they really like
she's
pointed
just like,
it out to
I
her.
don't care. Like, and then at the end, she's like definitely caring.
Yeah, she said she didn't care, but anytime something came up involving the rankings or like scores and stuff and wanting to be first, she was like very clearly cared. So that was pretty funny, just like throughout these 2 episodes. Anything else on that order? Anything to note? What do you think of that order?
I mean, I think it's a pretty fine order.
Yeah, it's really similar to the first round, actually.
It was, the biggest difference was AOA's placement. I think AOA was last time.
They were, I think they were last.
Yeah, so that was the biggest change. I think it was just smart. If I was I-dle, I would have done like the same thing, putting them in between Oh My Girl and Lovelyz.
Yep.
Because it's like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, for your like group styles.
If anything, though, I still would have put myself last after like Oh My Girl or Lovelyz.
Yeah.
Even have like Oh My Girl, then Lovelyz, and then.
See, that was my thinking, was put Oh My Girl and Lovelyz next to each other because they're probably gonna have similar sounding songs, and then they might lose points that way. If you wanted to be cruel and actually like play the game.
This whole show, though, for the most part, has been like them kind of being nice to each other.
Really nice to each other, yeah. Like,
except for like later in this round, I thought there was some kind of meanness, but we'll get there.
Yeah, kind of like the first episode where they didn't leave I-dle off the board, even though they could have made them lose points.
Yeah. But.
Okay, so then next we'll move on to picking songs. So the way I structured this podcast is just grouping all the things that happened to each group together. And because if you watch the show, they did 3 performances in episode 3 and 3 performances in episode 4. And they kind of like, they did the whole like variety show, survival show flashback thing where like right before the performance they talk about them preparing and like picking the song and doing all this stuff, and I felt like it would have been weird to jump around a lot. So I figure we'll just talk about all the groups picking their songs and all the groups performing their songs and stuff like that. So first we had Mamamoo pick their song, and at first like it was funny because Solar was like super worried about their vocals because like AOA has much higher range than they do, and it was just hilarious hearing her try to imitate all their songs.
It was just like a funny thing because I'm like, Solar can obviously sing, but I understood what she meant.
Yeah. It was just too straining.
I hadn't realized AOA's like pitch either, like until they were talking about it and they were doing it for every song. I was like, oh yeah, that is high.
Yep.
Like. Especially, with them being a smaller group, like they rely more on one member to do that. Whereas, like,
exactly.
AOA, it's like if they have a member who can do that easily, then they're like, "Yep, that's the person who can do it." Whereas, with Mamamoo, it would be more of a struggle.
Yep. Yeah. So they first went to Heart Attack and like pretty much instantly decided it was too high and also too cheerful, which they didn't think they could do well enough. Then they tried a couple of, they looked at like Cat and
they had short hair,
like
Like a cat and heart attack.
Yeah, and all
I
of
like
those.
The Moonmule's signal for heart attack. She's just
she's
pointing at her chest.
And then they made the 2 p.m. joke of heartbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically going through all 4 of those songs, they decided the register was like too high, and like they were just like too upbeat and peppy. And then they eventually decided on Good Luck, which has a much lower vocal range, and they felt just fit their style better.
It definitely fits Mamamoo's, I think, singing, like their style, their sound. That was a very good choice.
Yep. And then the big thing they decided to do was to mix it up. They decided they would each do a different solo part that would be a different genre, and it would be kind of like a mini concert. So Solar said she wanted to do like a big band concept. Moonbyul said she wanted to do hip hop, and then Wasa said like an African or reggae style. And then Wheein was absent during this part. So
this was during her health stuff.
Was it?
So she wasn't there too much these episodes.
Yeah, it seems like almost every group had someone absent for one reason
Everyone
or another.
had something wrong.
Yeah,
some
exactly.
injury, some sickness, some like filming. Yeah,
exactly. So next we move on to AOA. Unless you had anything else to say about.
Nah, that's pretty much everything I had.
Yep. So yeah, AOA, the first thing they talked about was Chanmi hurt her ankle, like we said. Pretty much someone was hurt in pretty much every group or gone or something. And then Soyeon, I could never say that because it's so close to Soyeon, like from SNSD. It's just like adding that L on there just like completely throws me off. Soyeon also wasn't there at all for this discussion. But then, so Jimin brought up she first thought about doing a Mr. Ambiguous, but they thought it would be too hard. Basically,
they didn't want to do the narration part of it.
Yeah, so Haejung was just like talking about how they couldn't do any of this stuff for like every song that popped up, because they're just like, we can't do like the member interaction, we can't do the crowd interaction, we can barely make eye contact with the camera. Yeah,
I can't isolate my neck.
Yep, we can't narrate. Like they're just like, we can't do any of the stuff that they do because they're just like so strict to doing the like choreography performance. Like, and Mamamoo is so opposite of just like having fun and doing all these ad libs and stuff that like but yeah, so they talked about that. They talked about oh yeah and said that like that wasn't really their style.
Oh yeah, they're talking about like Jimin doing like the rap in that song, how it's too cheerful for her.
And yeah, she's like in that like Cube style rap where it's like super like hardcore. She just can't do that more upbeat like fun rap. So then they eventually landed on Egotistic, which is more mature and serious and fits their style, which I agree with. I thought it was a good choice.
It definitely felt like an obvious choice, because I think this is Mamamoo's sexiest song, their sexiest concept they did. So it's like, of course AOA is going to do it. Then of course AOA doesn't do what I thought they would do, but
no, and it was awesome. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty much the correct choice, I felt like. And I thought Mamamoo did the same thing where they picked like the correct choice, or what I figured they would pick. To fit
it is still
their
like
skill set.
Almost kind of like upsetting, where it's like it'd be so cool for a group to do something that's like totally out of their element.
Yep.
But I understand, you know.
Lovelyz.
Yeah.
We'll get there though. Yeah, I agree though. I think like it does suck that they kind of played it safe.
Challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So then, and the last thing Jimin mentioned is like her ideas were like them wearing suits and getting dancers to do like voguing and stuff. So that was kind of like their initial thoughts on what type of performance they would have.
Yeah, it definitely makes me wonder like how much of this is scripted. Like,
oh yeah,
like they have to have had like a plan before they have this like a conversation of like the song and stuff.
Yeah,
because it's like such a random thing, and she just thinks it on the spot, and then like it ends up happening.
Although I don't know if there was actually any voguing. There's a different twist, but like the suits part, was
voguers, I guess.
Yeah. But so next we got to Park Bom, and she felt originally, or she was saying she felt that her and her team were arrogant because they only focused on the singing for the first round, and like kind of pretty much left out the performance aspect of it.
Yeah.
And it just felt like something was missing. And this was something I liked about like they like when they were talking about, when all the groups were talking about their first round, they all had like the same like criticisms that we had. I totally skipped over this entire part of my notes. So I'm gonna like get back there because this ties into it. But like I-dle was happy that they won, but pressured that they got first. But then like Mamamoo said that it was their performance they felt was too samey to the actual song.
Yeah, they didn't show anything like new.
And their dancers did all the work, or most of the work, which was our exact criticism. Like it felt like the dancers were the main highlight and like the only thing that changed. And then like Bomb felt she couldn't represent 2NE1 well, and Lovelyz felt dejected because they felt it was awkward because they picked a song that didn't fit the style.
It's not a sexy song.
Yep. And we're like, yeah, exactly. That was our exact criticism. I was so happy to hear them all say these things. I was like, I feel better about my criticisms because they agree with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, like Bomb, getting back to Bomb, she felt that same thing that we said, like they kind of like missed the performance aspect and only focused on the singing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what we said. And so she decided Han would be a good choice, but then change it to a more hip-hop style and like fit with like 2NE1 style.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool how like they were able to work with the producer that worked with Soyeon.
Yeah, so it's his Big Son Show, I think was his name.
Yeah, I have it somewhere in my notes.
And he co-produced I-dle's songs. So I guess one of Bomb's team knew him and was able to get in touch with him.
Yeah.
But then we get into a nice little scene where she invited I-dle to like come talk. And she like made these like cute decorations like herself and like put up all this stuff, and it was just so adorable. Like she was so excited.
So cute. And she's like waiting for them, like looking out the window.
Yep.
And then like when they came, she's like, "Oh my gosh, they're here."
Yep.
And I loved how they like she did the 2NE1 like introduction to them.
Because they did the I-dle, like they did their group introduction.
Cute.
Yep.
She was so happy.
Yeah. And then so like I-dle brought a like gift basket, which was
weirdly of corn.
filled with corn on the cob, which is just a weird random thing to bring to a meeting.
My like new like housewarming thing, you know?
Yeah, it's like here's a basket full of corn on the cob. It's like, already cooked, so you could just chomp right in, which is what we have as the image right now.
Is this like a Korea thing? Am I?
I mean, they do love corn, but I've honestly like I don't think I ever saw
weird about it.
I don't think I have ever seen like corn on the cob. Obviously, they love corn. They have corn on the cob, but like that was not something I had ever been exposed to, as a basket full of corn on the cob. But no, like it seemed normal. Yeah, like you said, like Bomb just dug right in, just starts eating right off the cob, like right there. It's like such a weird thing, but more power to you.
Yeah, I loved it.
So yeah, they kind of like talked about what songs they were doing. Bomb said she was doing Han, and they said that like that was what they expected or like wanted her to do. They said what song.
To be fair, she didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah, she only has 4 songs, and she probably wasn't going to do lots of toss, since then it would be compared to first round. So
exactly.
Then I-dle said what they were doing, but they bleeped it out here. And then they kind of just like, gave each other tips, and they like showed her the point choreography, and then Miyeon asked her for tips because she was doing her part. And so it was just a nice little like group interaction. It was nice to see them interact.
More Bomb hyping up this mystery.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
She's gonna bring on
someone because, and like she said that since there's rap, she needs to bring someone on. And
gotta bring the queen of competitions.
Yeah, like she keeps mentioning the queen of competitions. And so I was like, this is super obviously Cheetah. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, I knew like when they first teased it, I was like, it's got to be Cheetah. Like,
yeah,
it's not going to be a 21 member.
Yeah, exactly. They kept hyping up like, oh my gosh, she might get CL to do it. It's like she's not gonna get CL to do it. Like,
yeah,
that's not happening.
Yeah.
Like, the only other thought I had was because she kept mentioning Queen of Competitions, I just think of that Jessie clip, and I was like, maybe it's Jessie instead.
That would have been kind of hype, actually. I feel like if Jessie came on.
But I just assumed it was Cheetah since she actually won. Like, Jessie didn't win the competition. She just made the clip talking about it being a competition where Cheetah won. So yeah, spoilers there. She gets Cheetah later on, but I was like, it was so obvious. Yeah. Next, moving on to Sam's favorite group. We were talking about Oh My Girl. And so they originally wanted to cover Mamamoo.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
I would have just loved to have seen Oh My Girl cover just any of the other groups.
Yep. Yeah, I think that was what we said last episode. Like, it was sad that Oh My Girl and Lovelyz had to cover each other because they're so similar, which is they've echoed those sentiments a lot these two episodes.
Yeah. I was so like, you flat out just saying like, I'm done. I don't want to be a fairy like anymore.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they talked about doing For You, and then they're like, what concept would you do? And then Benny was like, fall fairies or something, like autumn fairies or something, and you was like, no, I don't want to do that. It's too similar. First oh god,
keep going.
No, go ahead. Like,
I don't know what I was gonna say anymore. Just go.
Okay. First they thought of doing like a cheerleading concept for You, or not For You.
It was for You.
Yeah, cheerleading was for You, and then
Now We was
the fairy concept. That's what I got wrong. I typed For You for both of them on my notes, and I was like, one of these is wrong, but I don't remember which because the names are too similar.
It would have been interesting to get like the cheerleading one, just because like everyone has a more serious performance.
Yep.
These like rounds.
Yep.
So it would have been interesting to have like a bubble gum kind of pop.
Yeah.
Performance, because we just didn't get that. We haven't gotten that at all in this show.
Yeah, it's just not the show hasn't. I mean, it would only come from Oh My Girl or Lovelyz, and neither of them want to do it because they want to show other sides of them. Yeah. But I want to see Park Bomb do bubblegum pop song. That would be ridiculous and amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So then Benny brought up Destiny, which they all agree is the best because they're correct, and that is the best Lovelyz song. I may be a little biased, but that is my favorite Lovelyz song. So I was very happy. And then Soongi jokingly brought up a rock version and did like a ridiculous like rocker imitation, and they all started laughing. And then Hyojung mentioned doing a ballad, and she just realizes like, nope, this is way too serious. This isn't gonna work. So they decided to add a traditional Korean version to make it unique, especially because they were between Park Bom and I-dle. They wanted something that like they knew would contrast with those two. Just doing something more emotional and
because they brought up it's like everyone's gonna be doing sexy or hip hop, so let's be different.
Yep.
And so let's do a sad song.
Yep. Which Destiny isn't really a sad song, but they made it a sad song.
It kind of is though. Like, when you read the lyrics, it's about like you're my destiny, but you're with someone else.
Okay.
Like, it's pretty sad.
It doesn't sound sad. Like the music part of it is not sad, but they made it sad, which we'll get to.
Yeah, I looked up the lyrics afterwards, and it's a very sad. It's very sad now after getting the Oh My Girl context of it.
Yeah. So then
they talked about like how they want people like tearing up at the end, but not crying. Yep. And then they like cut to the clip of Sungi crying after the performance.
It's funny because I teared up during the beginning of it actually.
I teared up multiple times on these two episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly episode 4 I had some moments.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So moving on. Next we have I-dle. And they were pressured, like I said, they were pressured after being first and like the fact that they put on such a like crazy unique performance in the first round, they just felt like they were gonna have a tough time topping that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the first songs they mentioned Fire, Come Back Home, I Love You, Lonely, I'm the Best, and Clap Your Hands. Like,
this was the only one I felt like they actually were deciding on the spot, the song and everything, which makes sense given how they're like, they do everything themselves.
Yeah.
So like, this is the first one this actually felt like a real conversation. About.
Yeah, so yeah, they pretty much all brought up a different song that they wanted to do as options, and they were just like having fun dancing and like imitating the vocals of To Anyone and like just joking around with the different songs. So then they decided on cutting it down to 3 with I Love You, I'm the Best, and Fire as candidates, and then they voted. Shy Guy's all up in those headphones.
Yeah, can you hear it?
Just a tiny bit, but it's not too bad.
He's being lovely right now, as anyone who's watching can see. He's here.
Yeah, so they picked 3, they voted on them, and Fire wins, which like they all pretty much agree that's like pretty much everyone in Korea knows that song. Even a bunch of like most international fans know that song. Like it's ubiquitous.
As someone who kind of knows 21, like I've listened to all of their songs, all their title tracks. The only 2 I like really know are I Am the Best and Fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, those are the 2 I can actually like sing and be like, yeah, I know this song.
Yep, those were the only choices I thought they really had, if they wanted to like bet on people knowing the song and stuff.
Yeah, I heard, was it like, who was it? Was it Sujin who like requested like Lonely or something? I'm like, they're not gonna perform that.
Yeah. I think Sujin said Lonely.
And like Shua had I forgot, I love you or Come Back Home. I think she would Come Back Home. And it's just like, they're not gonna perform that.
Yep. Well, then one of them said Clap Your Hands, and I was like, do people even know that song? Like, that's like one of their lesser known. My mind. Yeah, but they were saying it was very similar to La Ta Ta, which it is, but like that's one of their lesser known titles, so I was surprised to even hear that brought up. But then they just joke around for a really long time about Uki having to do Dara's hair, and they're like, nobody else can do it, only you can do it. And like then they're joking, just making all these jokes about how they could do it differently and give her like 3 stalks of hair.
Uki had it so rough.
I know, she was just taking all of the jokes the whole time.
No one wanted her song choice, then she gets stuck with the hair.
Yeah. And then, so at the end, like this is where Soyeon's whole controversy came up, and I don't really want to get into the controversy itself because that could be a whole podcast of its own.
Talked about later.
It gets talked about later, but since we're
it's
bundling everything, that's right. They split it all up.
Yeah, the now infamous ethnic hip.
Yeah, so basically Soyeon made some jokes about making it an African style song, and then doing like a tribal chant,
banging on the tables,
African, and then said it was ethnic hip. And like I don't really want to talk about the controversy because like I said, that would be a whole topic, like a whole podcast of its own. And I kind of just want to focus on the show itself and not controversies that spawn from it.
Yes. Just know that a controversy happened.
Yes, I didn't want to just completely ignore it because I knew then people would comment and be like, "Why didn't you talk about this?" and "What do you think about this?" and stuff. And it's like that. Like I said, if we got into that, I would probably be talking about it for half an hour, and I don't want.
It could definitely be a normal podcast topic.
Yeah. But we were thinking about doing it for Daebak, but I think we're pretty much full for this one because we got a more annoying company to talk about. So I don't really talk about that
getting
for
distracted.
Next week's Daebak. But yeah, okay, back on track. We're done with I-dle, and we end up with Lovelyz, which we're not going to talk too much about because it'll bleed into the next part. But yeah, they were supposed to perform an Oh My Girl song. Sam's upset now.
I'm just so upset that we don't even know what song.
No, they didn't even mention it until the performance.
I don't know if I might be more upset if I did know. And be like, oh, what could have been? But
yeah, exactly. What were they practicing? Like until it changed. Yep. But yeah, so they basically, this will be a short part, but basically they mentioned Remember Me, as it was emotional and had a lot of different parts to it. as a possible song.
Yeah, that seems like kind of an obvious choice for them, just because they want to show more sides of them, and that is definitely Oh My Girl's most like girl crush like kind of concept. It shows more to them than just like the fairies.
Yep. But then they teased the hell out of me and mentioned Closer, but said it was too slow. And I was like, it doesn't matter. Someone do it. Just Lovelyz performing Closer would be amazing. But I knew it wouldn't fit for this show. Like,
no, I don't know.
It wouldn't be the right choice.
I don't even know if they'd be the right fit for it. It's just, that was the other thing. Like, I can't imagine other groups doing Oh My Girl. Like, which is why I wanted to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen is Twice do it, and that was a train wreck.
When did Twice cover Oh My Girl?
Twice and Oh My Girl switched one time. So Twice did a cover of Windy Day and I-dle, and Oh My Girl did Cheer Up and Like Ooh Ah. And Oh My Girl killed it. Twice was a mess. But
oh yeah, this must have been back near debut.
Yeah, it was during I-dle promotions.
Yeah,
and after I guess Cheer Up.
Okay. Yeah, I really wanted to see. That was like the one, like, spoilers, but I loved Lovelyz performance, but I like wanted to see someone cover Oh My Girl, and it was a little sad that we didn't get an Oh My Girl cover. And then last they picked. Oh god.
Oh yeah, you were gonna say it.
I was gonna say They said Windy Day.
Windy Day was the one that I was like,
it seemed like they were gonna do.
So cool, because just Windy Day alone, the instrumentation of it is really fascinating, right? And Lovelyz is known for that, having just really cool instrumentals, and I just think that could have been so cool, like a Lovelyz rearrangement of it. I think it could.
Yeah, if it was like super chiptunes, like synth version of Windy Day.
Well, and I just want to see them do the choreo.
Yeah,
because that choreo is bomb.
Yep. So yeah, Windy Day, they mentioned it was like unique and fun. So that, like, we could probably assume that's what they were gonna go with.
And that's the other thing I was thinking too, because they do the envelope thing, which we're gonna talk about. I feel like they do the envelope thing like right after they film the discussion.
Oh yeah,
so they might not. They probably didn't.
They might have not actually picked. I feel like they would have had to, because if they were practicing a song for a day or two, and then like, hey, you might be able to change it, and it's like none of them would want to change it.
Stuff.
Yeah,
I guess Oh My Girl wasn't though. Oh My Girl.
No, they were in practice room when they were.
But like AOA was still like.
AOA was in the same room.
Mamamoo
was in the same room. Yeah,
I-dle was in the practice room. So
I-dle was in a practice room. Yeah, so but it could have just been like right after the discussion they went in the practice room, or like, hey, do this.
Probably, I think it was the same outfit, so yeah.
But yeah, so Lovelyz, they were just worried that like their themes, same thing as Oh My Girl, they were worried the themes were too similar, and like worried they would get 6th place again and lose or whatever. One thing I thought they mentioned, one thing to note, which I thought was really cool, was their director actually gave them complete freedom, because they were disappointed with how the last performance went, where it seemed like more the company kind of chose that for them. And their director was like, no, you guys can pick outfits, you guys can pick theme, you guys can pick choreo, like, because like he just felt bad probably it didn't pan out. But then we'll get to what song they actually picked later. So next, I have forgotten about the slideshow. That's Lovelyz. I just forgot Lovelyz. So
don't we all? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, how dare you? They're my number one for this show.
That's interesting. But someone has to,
I love them so much. I mean, it's close. I love all these groups, but like,
I am planning on buying a Lovelyz album after Queendom, though.
I was literally like, there's a very high chance that I buy their discography. So
I might also buy a 21 album. I'm buying like.
I actually have 21.
Queendom's got me, man. Queendom got me.
I have a couple AOA albums. I have a couple of 21 albums.
I ordered an AOA album, so I'm getting there. But anyway, so Queendom Quest.
Queendom Quest. So basically, this is just like random variety show games to get a random bonus. And the bonus, your bonuses were either you could watch the rehearsals, you could get a special effects thing added to your performance. You could change the position of your performance. You could get a free pass for a song choice, and you could get a staff chance, which who knows what that is, because
I don't get that.
I mean, the staff does something for you or something. I don't know. So then they were handed 3 mission envelopes that had symbols on them as like hints. There was a sticky note, lemons, and then like footsteps.
Yeah.
So Mamamoo went first. They wanted the special effects or staff chance. And they picked the sticky note envelope because it was purple and pink to go with the color
Queendom
scheme
colors
of the show. And that is the classic variety show game of covering yourself with sticky notes and having to shake them off in a certain amount of time. Solar tried it and just murdered it.
Well, yeah, it was like so weird of like, oh, they get to put it on themselves.
Yeah, that's true. Hwasa and Moonbyul got to put the sticky notes on Solar, so obviously they put them on very
they're putting on like
loose,
easy spots to just like
they just covered her arms basically so that she could just wave her arms a couple times and they'd all fly off. But yeah, so she murdered it, got it done in 16 seconds. And then they never showed what their chance was and never talked about it again. So we have no idea what they got out of that bonus, but they did win.
I'm guessing by what they said, it was changing the order, because they said like, oh, we'll use this later, like this will come in handy. It was something along the lines.
Are they allowed to save them for future?
I think
things?
So, just because the song choice one specifically said round 2, but the other ones didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. So it might just be
interesting.
something they're using later
on. Okay. So yeah, maybe if they don't get put first for a different round and they want to be first, they can move themselves first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we don't actually know. We don't actually know what they picked, but they did win. They blurred out what they picked and then never talked about it again. Next was AOA, and they picked the lemon one because Hyejong, the troublemaker in the show that she is, said she was like super confident and super cocky about being able to eat a lemon and whistle within.
Or wasn't it like Chanmia
30
first
seconds.
was saying like, oh yeah, I can eat, like, oh, that's like doesn't sound bad, and then when they actually like open it, Hyejong's like, oh yeah, this is easy, like
yeah. Chanmia and Hyejong challenge it, and Jimin as well. So yeah, they had to eat a lemon and whistle within 30 seconds, and it was like a relay thing. So like they each got 30 seconds. But then Hyejong just failed horribly and never got to Jimin to even try. Because to be fair, it was a lot of lemon. She had to eat like a whole lemon. It was like a whole lemon.
She also shoved the whole thing in her mouth immediately.
She did make that mistake where she couldn't chew.
They like separate it out.
Yeah, because she was just like, she was trying to chew and there was just juices
even
like
if it wasn't
spilling
sour,
out of her mouth.
Like just shoving a whole thing in your mouth, like
you just can't chew or eat at all. Yeah, so that was pretty funny. She was just super cocky about it and failed miserably. But we got good entertainment out of it.
Good pictures.
And good pictures, yes. After that, we assume Park Bom got the option, and who knows, they never showed it. Either she decided, because they did give them the option to just not do it, because if you remember, like oh my girl and Lovelyz had to like do cute faces to be able to do it.
I was wondering what that was about. I was like, why are they doing cute faces?
The staff was asking like, do you want a challenge, and then they were saying like yes. So that makes me wonder if like Park Bom just decided she didn't even want to. And so they just didn't even show it. Because, we have no idea what happened to Park Bom.
Well, it's like all the quests weren't really geared for like one person to do.
Yeah, that too. It's such a weird thing to have one soloist on a show with bot groups. Like, there's just so many weird situations that come up with her. Not having other people with her.
Yeah.
So next we got to I-dle. They also picked the lemon. And once again, Sujin was super confident and also failed miserably. But like it seemed like there was too much lemon to eat, but who knows? Yeah. Once we get to Lovelyz, they proved that wrong, so spoilers.
Yeah.
So we get to Oh My Girl, and they decided to pick the footsteps.
Yeah.
Which was to open 6 bags of candy in a minute.
Sorry, I lost my headphones. I lost my headphones.
Yep, and that was that loud rustling noise for a little bit. Yeah, so Oh My Girl picked the footsteps. They had to open 6 bags of candy with their feet in a minute. They did a practice run, and Aaron just stepped on the candy and ripped it apart completely and just destroyed it. And then Hyo also did the same thing. So, but then they challenged, and Aaron failed miserably.
Yeah, she was not very helpful.
No, she just like completely failed and did nothing. And Hyo went crazy and failed at first too. She was just screaming.
Hyo just started taking them from everyone.
Yeah. Well, at first she was failing on her own. So then Binny and Mimi went and they succeeded.
Oh yeah, they did a like boom boom.
Yeah. And then it got back to Haran and she kept failing, and then it got back to Hyo and she eventually succeeded, and then between Binny, Hyo, and Mimi they succeeded. But just like Mamamoo, we have no idea what they picked, and we have no idea what their benefit was because they didn't show it and they never talked about it again. I love
their reaction though when they found out it's random, that they don't get to choose.
Yeah, they're just like, what?
They were shook.
Because it was you got to pick with the hints for what your challenge was, but your benefit was completely random.
And Hyo picked it up with her foot.
Hyo picked it up with her feet as well, to just keep on theme. But yeah, we have no idea what that is. Maybe, like you said, it'll come into play in a future episode.
Yeah.
And then finally, we got Lovelyz. They picked the lemon one as well, and were much, much better.
They were so cool and calm about it.
They were just like making sure they didn't laugh, because they knew if they started laughing, it was over and they were screwed.
I don't know how they didn't lose it when
Jin,
the seed.
Jin shot the seed out when she was trying to whistle for the first time, and it was just they're just trying to keep it in so much, but she succeeded. Sujong and Yeon, they all killed it. So then Sujong picked the chance, and they got the chance to pick a new song. So this is where they didn't pick an Oh My Girl song because they didn't have to. And they decided to do Sixth Sense by Brown Eyed Girls, which is not a very well-known song, at least among international fans. No. Brown Eyed Girls isn't the biggest group. They're an older group. But I don't really know how well that song did in Korea either. It's not Brown Eyed Girls' most famous song. That would be like Abracadabra.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, like, the song itself, it like touches on like big things. I forget it. It like actually is about like maybe some controversial stuff, or like how overworked idols are. Like, it actually has like a deep meaning and stuff.
Oh really?
Behind it. Yeah,
I didn't look into the lyrics, so yeah, they thought they could do it. Brown Eyed Girls is a group known for their vocals, and they thought they could do it justice with their vocals, which I agree with. I think Lovelyz has great vocals, but Sam apparently doesn't agree. But whatever. Also, once again, I totally forgot about the slideshow, and I knew this was gonna happen. But it's okay, Andrew does that too. So here's Oh My Girl, and you didn't even. There isn't even a picture for Lovelyz.
Isn't there?
Or are they out of order?
It's because of how theirs was timed with the show. It was like their performance.
It was way later. Yep. Yeah.
Because I made the slideshow chronologically.
Yeah. And we reordered it. Yeah. But okay. So yeah, they picked Brown Eyed Girl song, and we'll get to the performances later. So yeah, this gets into the big main part of the show.
Yeah, now the fun part.
So beforehand, Lovelyz is super serious and like nervous not to be last. Nervous to not get sixth again. They were last, but like last in performance, not to get last. AOA was definitely a lot less nervous and like joking around this time. I-dle got like the queen service for being first, so they got like a giant waiting room. They got a red carpet when they pulled up, which was funny. And then they got the biggest like fancy waiting room, and it had like a giant buffet of snacks and a massage chair. So it was just like utterly ridiculous. But then so the votes are pretty much the same as round 1, but I'll go over them again. The audience gets 2 votes. They can't vote for the same group twice. And that'll add up to 7,000 votes total. Then there's special evaluators who get 2,000 votes, but that goes all or nothing to one group. It's not like averaged out. And the special evaluators last time were trainees from a bunch of different companies. This time was really interesting. Like, I thought it was a really smart choice of doing the security at the concert. So like concert security. So these are people that see a bunch of K-pop performances, but they're not necessarily like biased to groups or anything. Which the trainees obviously could be, because some of them might be from the companies. I don't know how that all worked. They didn't really say. And then same as last time, there's a self-evaluation of 1,000 votes. So the group's just voting who they thought did the best and worst. So yeah, we can get into the first performance, unless there's anything you want to preface these performances with. Okay, first we have Mamamoo. Solar's bow was ridiculous.
I don't know why.
And utterly ridiculous. I'm glad she took it off and threw it at the crowd at some point. But I thought the outfits was a cool idea, how they all had something completely different to like match their style of song. And it was nice. AOA sent them like a little tip video when they were practicing, which is like super awkward.
It was the most, like, I don't know why they kept this in the show, to be honest, because it's like, make sure you do our point choreography, and then Mamamoo proceeds to not use it.
Yeah, I mean, they half did.
They just did the coin flip.
They did a coin flip, which like a thumbs up thing.
But okay.
It wasn't the actual choreography. But it was funny that like they put that all in there, and then they're just like, we're not gonna do that. Like, we've already figured out the choreography. We don't really have anywhere to put it, but we can do this whole like coin flip thing at the end to get a thumbs up. So yeah, they put that into the ending, but the video was just super awkward. Like, anyway, it was just super awkward.
The video was funny at the end where they're like, "We hope you do well." Wait, just kidding. No, we don't.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a nice, like, fun little interaction between them. Yeah. So yeah, but as for the performance itself, it started out with Hwasa doing her like reggae style, doing her patented sexy floor choreography. Then it switched over to Moonbyul doing her best GD impression and having 2 backup dancers on a leash. That just I just instantly think of Bang Bang Bang. Is that Bang Bang Bang? Or it is. Okay. Yeah, where GD has like the backup dancer on a leash or whatever crawling in front of him. So yeah, Moonbyul had that. And honestly, this might be one of her best raps. Like, she killed it. I thought she did really well.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the rap.
Really?
I was hyped for it, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it.
Moonbyul has a distinct rap style, and I didn't like it here.
Yeah. But I could see that. Then Solar's big band version happened, and she just did like super like sexy lounge singer. She used vocal fry, so Baron hates it.
Yeah, it was very low.
Yeah, it was really low. And it was like really airy and breathy. But I thought it went well. And then Wheein went full sexy piano version.
I guess that's what her concept was.
Yeah, it was just like...
Wheein, I was just like... everyone else was like, oh yeah, there's the reggae, hip-hop, Big Bang.
Yep.
Big Band.
Big Bang.
And then Wheein, I was just like, what?
Yeah, it was just like... It was like piano version. She just like really sexy. I don't know.
Yeah, she was sexy. She looked fantastic.
Yeah, she looked amazing.
Her with the long black hair.
Yep.
She looks incredible.
Agreed. And then they all came together and it became like a rock version, which was really awesome. I thought it like tied it all really together really well. And then Solar almost slipped And I was surprised that Mnet didn't show it 400 times.
Just like go overboard with it.
Yeah, they
like
showed it. They showed it once, and then they showed people reacting to it, and then they showed it one more time, and I was like, "That's tame for Mnet."
They didn't replay it when she talked about it.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly.
Thank God. I'm glad.
Yeah, I was so happy they didn't do that. But I thought the ending was definitely the best part. It just got so hype.
It did.
And they just went insane.
The puss rap was fantastic.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep.
Which isn't on the digital recording of the song, which is just like so disappointing.
Oh really?
But I guess I don't know why. Like I guess they couldn't get rights to it, but it was on Show Me the Money, right? Which is that not an Mnet show?
I don't think it
I don't know
actually.
how it works.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But yeah, the puss rap isn't in the recording.
Darn. But yeah, just the whole ending, they just went utterly insane, and I thought it was amazing. And then with the coin flip move, I thought the coin sound was a good accent to it, though.
It was.
Because I feel like no one would have like noticed it or actually like realized what they were doing.
See, I noticed it the first time I saw it without watching the show, and I really liked that addition of the coin flip. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Flipping a coin for like
good luck. Yeah,
good luck. And then hearing them talk about it, I was like, oh, this is actually something that was talked about. I just figured this was something.
It was just like an interesting
like such
little
an
thing
easy, obvious thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was Mamamoo's performance. I liked it. I liked that they took their own criticism and my own criticism to heart, at least, and made the performance focused on them and their own skills, as opposed to the backup dancers kind of being the main difference.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
So here's with my stance on the Mamamoo performance. I really liked Hwasa's part. Mm-hmm. I just wish the whole thing could have been like that instead.
Yeah, like a reggae version.
Like I really liked the reggae version. I thought she did a great job, and it was hype. And then Moonbyul comes out, and it's still kind of hype of like, whoa, like this is so cool. Because, like I kind of said last time, I watched the performances before watching the show. Yeah. So it's all a surprise.
You didn't have this lead up, yeah.
Yeah, so I had no idea what kind of themes we were getting from this performance. And then Solar comes out and does her thing, and by that time I'm getting bored of it. I'm just like, okay, this is kind of all over the place. And then Wheein comes on, I'm like, it was becoming too much. And then the part that was just so comical to me was when they do so they change the sound and they like all come out from behind the curtain. And then like Wheein's still off on the side stage.
Yeah.
And you don't even get like a good shot of it. So it was just kind of stupid to me, like that part. It was a good idea, just executed poorly, maybe not on their part, but more on just the filming of it. It was weird.
So yeah, kind of like what happened to Lovelyz last time, where the whole dance break was like poorly shot.
Yeah. And then they all joined together. I do like the arrangement at the end. Like it's hype, but it drags on a long time.
Yeah.
And like I didn't need the crowd interaction part that Mamamoo just insists on doing too much. It was too concerty once again. Like they went back to everything that I didn't like about like their last performance of this is just a concert performance. I don't want that for this show. Like that's not what I'm here for. I'm not at the concert. I don't care about the concert atmosphere. So, but I guess for the actual sake of the competition, though, it's more important to please the crowd than to please the people watching the show.
Yeah. It's not like Produce or we're voting. Or Mnet's rigging all the votes anyway. Which they probably are for this anyway, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, I just try to pretend that doesn't happen, even though I know it does.
Yeah.
But whatever.
But overall, like, Mamamoo was like, started off like, oh, this is cool. And ended up kind of like, okay, it's Mamamoo's performance. That sounds like such a negative thing to say, but I was just like, it's a Mamamoo performance. There wasn't anything new to this for me. Like, it's still just Mamamoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely liked it more than you. I think to me it was Mamamoo, but I was okay with it because it was Mamamoo completely changing up an AOA song. Whereas last time it was Mamamoo being Mamamoo with a Mamamoo song.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing of like this wasn't the AOA song to me anymore. Like this like literally just sounds like a Mamamoo song.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's good on them for turning it into their style so much.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also not what I want, you know?
Okay.
It's not what I want from these performances.
Yes, that is what I wanted from these. I wanted to hear it didn't have to be their sound, but just something very different.
Well, I want it to be different, but
yeah.
But
I
wanted to be more of a challenge.
You wanted it to be a challenge for them as well.
Yeah,
where it's not just making it their own style.
Yeah, this felt very safe.
Yeah, I understand that. So yeah, then next we have AOA, and they did Egotistic, like we said, and yeah, during practice, they were worried because Chami hurt her ankle. Hyejong was once again screwing up choreography.
Yeah.
Which they didn't really highlight too much. I think it was more she screwed it up at the very beginning and then she was fine. Like, and I think they just showed it because she was screwing up a bunch last time, and they were just like, "Hey, look, she screwed up again." And then Soyeon was absent for the early practices as well, so they were a little worried about that with basically 2 of their members out of commission, or half out of commission. But yeah, Jimin was much more relaxed because if you remember in the first round, she was like super nervous when she was talking to the crowd and stuff.
Yeah, well, now she doesn't care about the ranking anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't care about the rankings at all. But yeah, so it starts out with her doing a solo rap on like the front stage, like with the crowd, and she just killed it. I thought it was awesome. And then the instrumentals for this version are just much more powerful and impactful than the original. And so like for me, I think this performance gets bonus points because I don't actually like the original that much. It's probably one of my least favorite Mamamoo songs, and I think they changed it in a way that made me like it a lot more because it just felt more impactful and powerful, like I said. The arrangement was just much more appealing to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then, so yeah, they were wearing suits like we said they wanted to do, and I thought they did a really good job. I mostly, to me, like I was completely focused on the instrumentals and like just hearing the arrangement. So like they didn't really like the performance didn't catch my eye until like the big twist part. But yeah, so the big twist, basically what they did was like halfway through the song they did dance break where 5 guys in drag came out. So they kind of did like a gender bent performance where AOA was in like suits, and then these guys were all in like super sexy like dresses and lingerie type outfits, like stuff that AOA would wear in normal performance. And they just did like a couple dance type thing with them. So I thought that was a really cool like twist that I don't think anyone saw coming. And
that was really hype. Yeah, for seeing it. It was very that was an actual unexpected
exactly.
thing to see.
So yeah, I thought so this, like I said, I think they get bonus points because I don't really like the original. But I guess getting into my reasonings for my rankings, this once again had the same issue I had with some of the performances in the first round, where to me like most of the like interesting part of the performance came from another part, like not the members in the group themselves, like the backup, those like male backup dancers in drag were like the highlight of the performance, and I'm like I want to see groups focus on themselves and push themselves and like do interesting things, where like as a performance this was really cool and really interesting, but AOA got overshadowed by their backup dancers basically, which is something I had an issue with first round. So this I think lost points for me there, for as cool as it was. It's not what I want out of the show, I guess is.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, so for me, so I'm actually a really big fan of the song Egotistic. It's actually one of my favorite Mamamoo songs. I'm not a huge Mamamoo fan.
Yeah.
And I think I like this. I think the reason why I like this song is kind of the same reason why I like Bad Boy by Red Velvet. It's like I like the concept way more than I like the song. The song itself is kind of boring, which is why I know a lot of people don't like it.
Yep.
And this arrangement, by the way, is phenomenal. Like, I think this is a great song after hearing this take on it. And Jimin's rap is incredible. That was incredible.
Yeah,
it was too short.
So good. It was too short.
Because I'm not a huge fan of her. Like, I love nasal rappers, but she's just one of those rappers that just never stuck with me. But like hearing that, I was like, okay, I'm on board now. She's good. I really loved it.
I honestly think she's better than she really got to ever showcase in her career. Like, if that makes sense. Like, AOA's raps have never been like super like important to their performances, or super like in depth or technically complicated. So like I think that's part of it.
Because my thing with her is a lot of her rap always just focuses on what her voice sounds like, and instead of like an actual flow. Whereas this was an actual flow, and like it. I liked it. I very much liked it, and I thought it was a great way to start it. And like I love the suits; they looked incredible. One part I just really loved. I don't even know like why, but it's at the beginning when it goes to Chanmi's part on the side. Just her voice there. It just I love it. Like I just think they all sounded incredible. I loved it. I love how they slightly changed the choreography. They still do this stupid dance move Mamamoo does that I hate, where they like swing their hips. Like Mamamoo is just obsessed with that dance move. They did it for Good Luck, but it's technically in the Good Luck choreo too. I don't like that dance move, but they kept it. I loved this. They gave it more of a sultry vibe than like the powerful vibe that Mamamoo had. And it was just so I loved it. And I could have actually done without the vocals. I don't think they added anything to this. I don't think it made the performance better. I just don't think I needed it. The song itself was enough for me.
Yeah, it was.
But and like having it at the end, like it was fun. Like I had no issue with it, but like I said, the song itself was enough for me to really love this.
Yeah, you felt like they should have let the song stand on its own instead of needing that like shock factor of.
Yeah, it was just it was there, and it was like cool the first time, but it's like I'm happy enough with just the song, because this is what I wanted from Queendom, of just like changing the songs. It's not like AOA made it AOA. They just made it a great song and they performed it phenomenally. It was just overall fantastic. Like I will listen to this way more than I'll listen to the Mamamoo version. I definitely would listen to this way more than the Mamamoo version, but I don't like the Mamamoo version, so okay, next we'll move on to Park Bom, and they were talking about how she like worked really hard for the choreography, and also recorded the song 9 times, which is quite ridiculous. And yeah, like I said, based on what she was saying, I expected Cheetah to be the guest, so which spoilers she was. I liked the masquerade theme to start. Like I thought that was a cool little like all the backup dancers had like the masks on, and then she had one at the very beginning. I wish it was kind of like thrown in there a little bit more, but it would have been weird to have her like hold a mask randomly the whole performance. So I understand why it was only the very beginning. I think the instrumental they chose, like they definitely made it more to anyone like style that to fit her. But at like she just wasn't like I don't know, something was off at the very beginning. Like the first verse, she was like super nervous and shaky. Like she also sings it in a different melody.
Yeah.
And because it's not the "Don't you remember?" She does "Don't you remember?" Like she goes up and down instead of going down and up, which makes it sound like she's in the wrong key. For the first verse.
The first verse, it just sounded super off, so that must be it. Like I noticed something, and she definitely seemed shaky again. Like her vocals were a little shaky, but I thought once you got into the first chorus, it was much better. And then it got better throughout the song, and just she sounded a lot better in my opinion. Then Cheetah came out, killed it. as always. I loved how Soyeon screamed, "That's my teacher," when she came out.
That was so cute.
I was like, she's still so proud of
produce
101 stuff. As the IOI's #1 fanboy and huge fan of Produce 101 season 1. I love that. And then I thought it was nice that she ended on the 2anyone hand sign, which I didn't know was the 2anyone hand sign, but then it also has a second meaning of it. You're holding up 3 fingers and she's the third performer, so it's like, hey, vote for number 3. Like, that was
I thought you were talking about the second meaning of what that hand sign
no. I'm not. We're gonna ignore that. But no, like, at first I was like, hey, she's holding up 3 fingers. Like, she's saying, like, hey, I'm third, vote for me. And then they pointed out that it was the 21 hand sign. And I was like I didn't know that.
Cute.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this performance, like, once again, it's the same problem I had with, like, previous performances. Like, she just didn't change it enough. Like, they changed the instrument. Like, she just, like, didn't, I don't know, like, I want more. I just want more differences and something, like, crazy, something, like, much more interesting than just changing up the instrumentals a little bit. I guess it's similar to what you said, where, like, Mamamoo made it a Mamamoo style song. Like, she just made it a 2anyone style song, and
it was very, like, 2anyone.
It wasn't interesting enough. Like, the fact that with what Mamamoo did, in my opinion, was super interesting. This, I felt like, made Han less interesting. Like, the instrumentals were more boring, because the instrumentals on Han are amazing. Like, I like all the traditional instrumentals they use, and like all those different cool sounds. Where this, they kind of just made it like they just used a bunch of synths and made it a 2anyone banger, and it just was way less interesting to me. So, like, this was definitely getting into my rankings a little bit, but this was my least favorite performance.
All right. I liked the performance. Like, I do kind of just have lower expectations when it comes to Bomb's performances. Like, that's just how it is. It's nothing really against her, but having the solo stage, and it's not like there are other solo artists who I think I would expect a lot out of. Like, if like Chungha was on the show, or like Sunmi, I'm gonna expect
Park Bom's not the most well-rounded soloist.
Yeah.
She's very focused on vocals.
That was my biggest problem with this performance. I disagreed with what they were talking about at the beginning of the show, where they said, like, they focused too much on her voice the last one and they need more performance. Because now it was just like her walking around the stage, and then there's like all these people in black just like like doing stuff, and it was just very overwhelming. And like I'm like, I just want Bomb. Like, I really have fallen in love with Bomb this show. And like, I don't even care if like her voice isn't my cup of tea. Like, I just love watching her talk. I love watching her perform. She's just been really fun to watch. Like, it's been heartwarming almost to like see all of this. And like, for the actual arrangement of the song, I think it's fine. It is very 2anyone. I'm not a 2anyone fan, but I think this worked very well for her.
It did work for her. That is one thing I'll give it.
And I think they changed the song a lot. Like, the chorus is completely different. It's like gone practically.
Yeah.
They changed a lot of melodies, just like inversions and stuff like that across the board, which I don't think helped. I think that just made the song kind of weirder, because Han's a very popular song, and when you listen to a song enough, like that's what you expect, and it just sounds wrong.
Version of it sounds wrong.
Yeah. And what else was I gonna say? I think she sounds really great at some points in the song. The whole pre-chorus part, especially after the boo boo boo, like after Minnie's part, when she does the actual pre-chorus, I think her voice really fits that.
Yeah.
And like I liked her little like moment where she like goes to the camera and she like punches it.
Put it all sassy, yeah.
So it's just, I'm like, it's so cute, even though that's not what she's going for at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, oh, like, yeah, get it. Like, yeah, Bomb, like, yes. And I thought the cheetah feature was horrible.
Yeah.
I it was so like I didn't. She shouldn't have done English. It was so slow. It just didn't make sense to me.
I mean, that's just Cheetah's not like, she's always been like a slower. She doesn't do like super fast stuff.
She's very charismatic, but
yeah.
The actual like, especially for, I mean, I was not having high expectations going into, but how hype up they make this of it's only going to be disappointing. Like,
the only way it would have matched the hype is if she actually got CL, and no, that was never going to happen. So
like I don't even know if like that would have done it. Like you would have needed like G-Dragon coming from the military at that point for me to just like freak out. Like nothing was gonna like make me excited, I think, with how much they talked about this. And it was unnecessary. This song, I forget the song even had the rap.
Honest. It falls in the same category that I've been complaining about this whole time, is like you're taking the focus away from the actual group, or in this case Park Bom. Like to me,
I mean, I think it was a great idea to have a feature, because like she said, like she needs one. And like if she's allowed to do that, then like hell yeah, do it. Like bring on someone. Like that's feels like cheating, but like if they're allowing it, then I feel like that's the only reason why they let her do it, just because she's
Cheetah alone, and like
and because she's by herself.
She needs some support, because like we said, she's not super well rounded. Like she's gonna need someone to rap. She's not gonna be able to just go out there, and it would just be horrible if she had to do a rap part. So and one thing I guess we didn't touch on either is the crane dance part. I thought that was cute. Like her practicing it, and then she did it, and then I-dle gets so happy about it. It's cute. The interactions in the Soul Show are really good.
I love this show. But I think that's pretty much all I had to say for Bom.
Yep, we all have lots to say about this next group. So
I think this is my longest like thing of notes.
So next we have Oh My Girl. They're wearing black hanboks, which is awesome. Like we said, that when they chose the song, they knew they were going to do like a traditional Korean concept. Yua hurt her ankle before the performance.
She hurt it during bungee promotions.
Okay, so she had to sit out, sadly, during practices and rehearsals, but they decided to give her a short little like highlight part during the bridge. So she sings a little bit and just is like standing there and like in a super elaborate set for something that gets 5 seconds of like
she's just standing there too. Like,
there's just like this giant like thing of flowers behind her with like it's just stunning. Like really pretty looking, and she gets like 5 seconds of screen time, and then they cut back to the group. I was like, they put a lot of effort into that.
It was the hidden card,
it was. Then like they said, they wanted their version to stand out as its own song, and they like wanted people to forget that it was a Lovelyz song. So starting out with the performance itself, once again they start out they kind of similar to last set of performances, where they have like these cloths and they're kind of using them as ribbons at the beginning, like because they're holding them taut so they look thinner than they are. But the whole arrangement's just like utterly insane and just like so super epic traditional Korean music. It's like it has nothing, like it doesn't sound anything like Destiny at the beginning. It's just like a movie soundtrack, or like Kwasa said, it's a traditional Korean drama. Like
soundtrack. That was the vibe I got when I first watched it. I was like, oh, this is like it could be on a historical drama show. K-drama.
There's like a theme or whatever. So like the instrumentals were just utterly amazing. And then like it gets to the actual beginning and like it starts becoming Destiny. And like it sounds so much more solemn, like you were saying, like it's so much more sad sounding. And it definitely like got me, because I absolutely love this song, and I was definitely like tearing up a little bit. I was just like, how there's just so much emotion in their performance, and they just like hit that vibe so well. One thing to note, the choreography, he really wants to be all up in that mic.
Okay, continue. Oh no, now he's eating it. Okay, continue.
But yeah, like the whole time they had these cloths that they're using as like props for their choreography, and it's like completely different, and just like really beautiful. And then we cut, and Mimi gets a rap part, which came out of nowhere. And the choreography for it was even more amazing, where she was just rapping on like a pedestal, and all the backup dancers had the cloths like tied to her, and like we're just doing like crossing over and getting all like twisted and stuff. That was just like a really awesome part. And then I thought it was nice because when they get into the dance break, it brings back that like historical drama, like original composition, and like just made the whole song sound way more epic. So yeah, like that performance was absolutely amazing. It helps that it's my favorite Lovelyz song, and it's Oh My Girl doing it and adding like this crazy. If you listen to Daebak cast, you know I really like movie soundtrack style, like really big, like epic sounding songs with like lots of strings and stuff, and that extends to traditional sounding stuff. So yeah, like just super epic sounding, grandiose songs I love, and taking one of my favorite Lovelyz songs and doing that to it just like blew me away. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel like I've watched this performance so many times. I've listened to it so many times. I love this performance. Like, I love the Yua feature at the beginning. I love the traditional Korean sound. When the whole group then appears, like, and they're bowing, it's just chills. Absolute chills. And how it starts off like so sad. Like, the one dance move they do that I absolutely love at the beginning is when they do like the spin and they like swipe down with the like chiffon, and they like bounce, like it's like they do like a graceful kind of bounce off the ground with spinning. I love it. It's just so cool. And their vocals sound incredible. It's like I don't even actually like listening to the recording of it because I think their live vocals were so much better. The emotion they put into this performance it's incredible. Like, Hyojung blew me away. Sungee obviously is fantastic. Binnie was a very, very incredible surprise. I mean, Binnie has a great voice, but the power and emotion she put into her lines were so good, and she definitely stepped up because Yua is usually like the third in line for vocals, and Yua wasn't really there, so Binnie got more lines for that. I thought she did great, and the others, Gio and Arin, also they delivered. Mimi's rap was cool. That was so unexpected.
Yeah, I did not expect that to happen at all.
They talked about it on the show briefly, but yeah, I thought the rap was cool. It didn't need the rap in the end, but it was a cool moment, especially because Mimi doesn't really show off her rapping as that much, I feel like. I mean, she raps, obviously, but I never think of her writing like her own raps for stuff, even though she has, but that was a cool twist. I loved having that. And I just loved watching everyone's reactions to this. Like, they're all just kind of like, whoa, like, this is so cool. Like, Kwasa was vibing with it. Like, was Hyejung from AOA was like, oh my gosh, this song always been so sad. It's like, this song was just like, oh, like, Miju looked sad, Soyeon looked sad. Everyone just looked sad watching it because it's so emotional.
It was like exactly what I wanted.
How they delivered it was just incredible. The dance break was phenomenal. Like, the electronic mixed with the traditional Korean sound, I thought that was so cool. And like, I don't know how they kept passing around those, like, the white chiffon. Like, all of a sudden they had it, then they were gone, and then they had them again. I'm just like, what are they? Where is it coming from? It was just, oh. And yeah, like I said earlier, and I did end up looking at the lyrics of this song. It's like, this just sounds so sad, but what has this song been this sad? And it's like, yeah, it's actually kind of a sad song, and it makes you hear the Lovelyz version differently too. After knowing what they're saying, it's like, oh yeah, this is kind of haunting a little bit. Yeah, it's all about like, loving someone who is with someone else, and it's just so sad. And then Yua had her moment. She was pretty. The Sungee Hyo high note. so good.
Yep.
Sungi's ad-lib at the end, just so good. Oh, and then Sungi crying after the performance.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a ride, man.
It was
I
a
love
really
this performance. And
really
like
good performance.
Korea is eating this up. Like it was trending. If only this had aired the previous week during Thanksgiving for them, it would have been like probably even more hype because of all the traditional Korean vibes. But
yeah.
Oh, such a good performance. Like this is what I want from the show.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so unexpected. It's not like this is an oh my girl sounding song. Like it didn't really change it to fit their concept. They just but they used their strengths to like elevate this into something completely new. Like you wouldn't know this is the Lovelyz song. It just sounds so different. Although I will say my one criticism of it is the first chorus does let me down a bit because it is so similar, I think, to the original. There's something about the instrumental. I wish it had been like
changed a little bit.
It had been taken away or something a little more spaced out. Okay. So you can really just focus on the emotion of it. It kind of picks up pace a little bit.
Yeah. I did remember after the verse, like it picked back up, and I was like, okay, this is getting closer to the original.
When it did that, I think it loses some of like the power in it, like the power of it, but like it's still great. Like, that's my one criticism. I think that I have. Amazing performance. Yep. I don't know if anything else will top this.
It's definitely going to be very hard to top. Next, we have something that definitely didn't top it. Spoilers. We have I-dle, their performance of Fire. Side note, you mentioned the studio recording of Destiny, and I forgot those existed, so I went on iTunes while you were talking to grab those. And surprise, surprise, YG doesn't let them put it has the other 5. It doesn't have this song. And I was like, of course YG doesn't let them have the rights to put out this cover, because
I'm pretty sure on the show it didn't say that they would have the recording of this song.
All the other 5 are there, but YG sucks. So I-dle beforehand, they were saying they're burdened covering such like an iconic song and like such a big like Sunbae group. So I said like something that didn't top Oh My Girl's performance, but like I actually, despite the controversy, I like this arrangement. I think it adds some cool instrumental parts, and
so this is the thing. The actual arrangement, if that clip hadn't been shown, for the most part, this wouldn't you wouldn't notice. It would just sound like she's getting influences from different sources. They do have the questionable, the yikes moment.
That was the only part that was like, okay, they went too far there. But
yeah, if like I said, that clip hadn't shown, like no one I think have been calling them out for this.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually really like the arrangement. I thought they added a lot of really cool different like instrumentals and like effects, and just made it sound like what they were trying to go for, like that jungly vibe. Like I thought it worked really well for this song. While still fitting the song. I think Soojin killed it. She definitely was a highlight.
She is the most underrated member of I-dle. I've been saying this for like comeback after comeback. No one acknowledges her, and I
feel like most of our Discord is a fan. I know Jacob.
It's mostly me. Mostly me.
Really, like. Jacob really liked her, or has liked her from the beginning. He likes
Minnie a lot. He talks about Minnie.
I could have sworn he was talking about Soojin.
He's mostly Minnie.
Him or
I know I'm Andrew. Always like no one's talking about
him or Andrew. Someone was talking about Soojin a lot. Minnie recently I started talking about Minnie, but whatever. But yeah, she killed it. She definitely stood out to me.
Yes, she was amazing.
Like you said, the tribal shouting part definitely was way too far, and did not need to be there. Yeah. I do agree with Wasa. It was nice hearing this song after so long, because I haven't listened to any of these songs, like to anyone's like old songs, and I'm not the biggest fan of To Anyone, but I do enjoy jamming out to these songs every once in a while. Like, this song is just a banger. Like, it's fun to jam out to, like the original. But yeah, as for this performance, like, I think even like despite the controversy, or like without the controversy taken into account, they just didn't do enough again. Like,
yeah,
the instrumental was a really cool, they added a lot of really cool effects and stuff, but it still matches like the original so enough, like too much.
it's like you don't even notice it really.
Yeah, exactly. If you weren't listening for all those different effects and like really listening to instrumental to hear how different it is, you probably wouldn't notice because you'd be just jamming out to the song. So yeah, like I think this definitely that definitely hurt it a lot. It needed to be more different. Like, and they themselves said it, like they set themselves up for failure with their first performance. It was so interesting and so different and just so cool, and this was just too similar.
Yeah. So the one thing I thought was so interesting about this performance is, did Soyeon make a rap for herself? Because I don't think she did, right? She just used the
I think she just
raps,
used the original rap,
which was so fascinating since all the other groups besides Lovelyz made their own raps for this, and she is like the rapper in the show, which I mean that's fine. I think she gets enough time as it is, so it's fine that she doesn't make a rap. But I thought that was just kind of interesting. Sujin absolutely kills it. She's the best part of this performance by far. I also thought Miyeon looks phenomenal because she's usually like the most timid on stage. She was shining. Like, her little star thing was cute. She's smiling, like, with her, she just looked happy. Like, I feel like they performed this better than they performed their own songs. Like, they just looked like they were having fun.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I can see what you're saying, because like their own songs are they're not that like you said, they're having like fun. They're trying to be cool and edgy, exactly, and they're not allowed to have fun, so they take it seriously, and it looks like they're trying too hard. Where they just went all out and had fun because it's a fun song that everyone knows and they all grew up listening to, and like
they all just looked like these were the most natural smiles I think I've seen from them. And I loved it. And I loved Uki's little hair moment. Everyone was like, oh, it's so cute.
Yep.
But I also don't think she needed the hair at all.
It
annoyed me because no one else dressed in any sort of Gen 2 fashion. So
Minnie is like literally wearing her clothes from their last comeback. Like that's like her exact outfit.
The hair didn't need to happen because they didn't commit in any other way.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved how Bomb was saying how she wants to record it and show it to Dara. Like, that was just so cute. Yep. Once again, Bomb just being adorable. And
on top of Bomb being adorable, Mamamoo and her like screaming To Anyone songs like through the walls, cute. Like because Mamamoo was just singing, like having fun. They're like, oh, we haven't listened to Anyone songs forever, let's just jam out. And then they were doing it so loudly that she could hear it through the walls and just started singing with them. So
I also thought Minnie's voice fit the chorus so well. Like, it fit her so well. This song fit them so well. And it's like one of those things, like, this just sounded like a current gen version of the song.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't know if that helped or hurt them to me, because it's like it doesn't sound any different.
Yeah.
They did. It's kind of funny because there's the whole controversy of, you know, the ethnic hip and everything, but the original song has its own controversial part, and they took that out.
Yeah.
So it's just like kind of funny how the mess of this whole performance like came about. But and then I had no idea what Shua sounded like until this song. I didn't realize she was so cute sounding with her singing, but I thought that was such a great moment. That to me was like the wow moment, where she gets like the end and she like actually sang for like 15 seconds.
A good chunk of time.
Whoa.
Yeah. You got a real part.
Like, this is one of those performances I don't know how I feel about it, because I'm like, this was so fun. Mm-hmm. It's not what I want.
It's not what you wanted.
Like, yeah, and it's everything. It's also just everything I didn't like about the last performance of like, there's no change. Like, even with La Ta Ta, like they had the intro, the rest of the song, I'm like, what's the change? This is just La Ta Ta.
They changed the performance, but they didn't.
Fire. Like, but you added a dance break that was like a yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
well,
I think
they cut out the other dance break that was yikes. So
yeah,
or whatever that bridge part is.
Like, it was also just unfortunate. Mnet, I feel like, hyped it so slightly, and just like the clip that they showed and like the like leading up to this episode, because they showed a clip of the dance break and it looked hype.
Oh, okay.
Like, and it was a hype performance, but the dance break itself, I was like, oh, this kind of sucks.
This is why I don't watch teasers or
it was
stuff
just
like
at the
that.
end. It was just like coming up next.
I just like stopped paying attention during those.
Oh, I tease myself all about. I'm all about it for this show.
Yeah,
I see every single thing.
Okay, good with I-dle.
Yeah. Oh, and also Bomb crying after.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god! And she started. This is when I actually teared up watching the show, because Bomb was talking about like missing
to anyone. And, yep.
God, it's if there. I need some 21 like reunions. I know she did something with Dara recently.
Yeah, Dara featured on her last song.
Yeah, or was she hanging out with? Who was she hanging out with?
She might have been hanging out with Minji
Dara
as well.
I think she was hanging out with Dara, because Dara was supposed to go to a concert like in the Philippines or something. They were hanging.
I don't know.
But
I'm not sure.
I just need 21.
It's never gonna happen. Totally. Like, there's never gonna be a full one, but
I know.
We'll see.
But, like, my heart
Dara
is
and
Bomb.
Her definitely had that, because she was on the comeback.
I just know Bomb is like not gonna win in any.
No, not at all.
I'm
sorry,
I root
Jakari.
for her all the way. Like, I'm with her. Yeah. I just love her.
That's how I feel. Yeah. That's how I feel about Lovelyz. I'm like, they're not gonna win, but I want them to. I just love them. Speaking of, last but not least, we have Lovelyz. And we kind of like they basically did all of their like preview stuff we already went over. They didn't really show anything right before. They just went right into it. Starts with like an awesome like laser grid light show thing, with the backup dancers, and then they like raise Miju up, and she has like a little moment, and put her down, and then they kind of get in. Let's do like an intro, where like it was kind of like oh my girls, where like it you can't tell what song it is. It's just like a really hype like intro. But they just looked so much more confident and like comfortable doing this song that like actually fit the style that like, because this is basically their like second chance. Like they're like, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna do it to a song that fits that, instead of doing it to Achu, which does not fit that at all. And I thought they just looked so much more confident and comfortable doing it. To me, they fixed pretty much everything that was wrong with the last performance, by doing this. Highlights, I think Jisoo went all out. Her facial expressions,
incredible.
Her rap,
this is just like such a subtle thing, but as someone who's like done dance and whatnot, and like when she does her rap and she brings her hand in front of her face, the control she has in her hand to like get the tensity, that is so difficult to do. And it's just a phenomenal like
she blew me away for this whole performance. And then like K's high note was great, and then it kind of like transitioned into Sujung doing like a little ad-lib stuff. I just like, I don't know, it was just everything I would have wanted because of how disappointed I was in the last performance. I think they have like this, they have the same criticisms that we've had with the other groups. Like, I think it needed to be different.
They did nothing to this song.
Yeah, they did nothing to this song. But I think I give them the pass because they of, well, one, because I'm biased, but two, because like they wanted to do this the first round and they couldn't. Like, their song choices didn't allow for them to do this because they had to do one of their own songs, and none of their songs, like, they wouldn't have been able to, even if they didn't pick Achu, like, what song would they have done to actually do something like this? I don't think any of them really would have come together where they finally did. Like, so I'm just happy that they're satisfied with the performance and got to do what they wanted, even if I do agree that, like, there could have been more, but it was such an improvement. It was the opposite of I-dle, where, like, I was so, like, I really loved the La Ta Ta performance, and they were just, like, fell so far down, where I was really disappointed with the Achu performance, and this was so much better that it made me, like, a lot happier with it. Now Sam's gonna shit all over it.
I have a lot to say. So much to say just about this song choice. I think this was such a terrible song choice.
Yeah, I do. Like, yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of other songs they could have picked.
The only thing that I'm like, oh, it's funny because it's 6, and there's 6.
But I don't even think that was on purpose. I think Miju just made that joke because she thought, like, realized it. I don't think that's why they picked the song, but maybe it is. I don't know.
Like, so
that was the weird thing. They didn't really go into why they picked this song. Like,
I would have loved to have known, because, like,
yeah, what they didn't show that conversation of, like, what other songs they thought about or anything. Yeah. They just picked. They were just like, oh, this is the song we picked.
I'm just like,
why?
You think that's a very overwhelming decision to make.
Yeah, because they could pick any song.
Any song.
They weren't limited
and they go
to
for
Oh My Girls.
Brown-Eyed Girls, which, don't get me wrong, I love this. I had never heard of this song before the show. I found out like a week or so ago that they were performing this, and I was like, oh, I'm going to listen to this song because, okay. And I listened to it, I'm like, oh my God, this song's incredible. They can't pull this off, but this is incredible. Like, it's a fantastic song. And I don't think they pulled it off. I think 3 of the members could do it. The rest, no. Just no. I thought Jisoo, hell yes. Sujung, hell yes. Miju, yes. I don't think she nailed her parts very well, but she can do this kind of concept. Yeah. The others, no. No.
You're telling me Baby Soul can't do this?
So, like, this song has so much power, and their performance had no power. Yeah. There was no energy in this, and it's very disappointing. Like, they shouldn't have gone for something so hard and difficult. Yeah. And then I am also totally on board with what Bomb was saying of, like, I want to see Lovelyz be Lovelyz. Like, I don't want to see them try to be like the other groups right now. Like, do what you do best, right? That's what made Oh My Girls so amazing this
they played to their strengths.
They did them and just blew it out of the park. Like, Lovelyz, it's like they're doing something they're not used to doing, and they're not really succeeding. I don't know, like, the only part, they're hiding too much behind the concept change instead of, like, really delivering it. And it's not there for me. Like, I don't think Oh My Girl could not have done this either. I don't think I'd like that performance either. Yeah. It's just trying to be something they're not. Yeah, and it's just kind of, like, frustrating. Of, like, Lovelyz doesn't have an identity really on the show. I don't think they know what they want to be or what they want to show. They're just kind of all over the place.
I think they want to show this, but they can't. Is the problem. Like, they want to. They want to show that they can do a, like, powerful, mature concept because they never get to do that in their actual career.
It's just so hard for them to do that against groups that do it well. Yeah, I agree. I think I agree with what you're saying, that it was like they went
where they went with Achu, which is a song that could not match the concept at all, and then they went to a song that matched the concept like too much, where it was too far outside of their range. They needed something in the middle that was like a powerful song, but not.
And they don't have the vocals for this song. Like, just because you can hit a high note doesn't mean you can like belt it out. Like, is it just because they're hitting the notes, but there's no emotion, there's no power in it. There's just lack of like stage presence with this. I just like it's not like this performance was a mess, but it just was stale. Like it leveled off real quick, and it became disappointing and kind of very frustrating actually, because they had this chance. You know, like it's funny because it's like it was like a benefit, but I think this hurt them. They should, like, if they had just done an Oh My Girl song, I think that would have been way better for them. But
I think.
What you gonna do? But I did like seeing some of the members who really showed. Like, I love Soojung, I love Jisoo now. Like, I learned their names. I didn't know Lovely's name. I know their names now.
Yeah, Soojung's always been her and
she's funny. I've liked her on the show, and I finally looked her up.
Number 1 and 2, so
because she killed it. This concept, like, like I said, her and Jisoo.
Yeah, Jisoo blew me away. I was just like, holy crap! Like you snapped, like you went crazy, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing is though, like, you said, you wish they had just done an Oh My Girl song, and you think it would have done better, but I don't know if it would have for the actual audience. Like, I don't think the audience is going to be as critical as you were being, or like we would be. And I think
I mean, I don't know about the
main shock
audience
factor
from the audience I know just online. They're kind of thinking what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm saying like playing to the crowd, I guess, not the audience. The crowd at the concert.
There's a whole rumor
the shock factor.
They ended up. There's a rumor they got
that
first.
They won. Yeah, I think they might have a chance just because that shock factor of it like would have blown the like actual crowd away. Because like I said, they're just not going to be as critical. Like, they're going to see Lovelyz doing this type of song, and I think doing it well, not doing it as well as you'd hoped maybe, but I don't think they, like you said, it wasn't a mess.
Well, yeah, and it's not like I really had like I said, when I heard the song, I was like, Lovelyz can't do this.
Well, yeah,
I'll watch them.
It's Brown Eyed Girls. Like, nobody can do Brown Eyed Girl songs.
That's what they shouldn't have done. This song. Like,
yeah.
There's so many songs in K-pop.
They should have done like Run Devil Run or something.
Yes, that I could be down for.
The Sochi song's not as insanely powerful. Like, it was because it would have been like symbolic too, because like that was Sochi's transformation from getting out of that like cutesy stuff. Yeah, there were definitely better choices, but I didn't hate it as much as you did.
I didn't hate it,
but I'm also biased.
Frustrating.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Okay, let's finish this off. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes, so we'll get to about 2 hours. Okay, so next we have the closing. This should go fairly quickly. First thing, Moonbyul being utterly adorable with the messages, because Mamamoo is super shy, and it's hilarious seeing how shy they are with other groups when they're so like ridiculous with each other.
Yeah.
So that was just utterly adorable, and I'm happy you took a screenshot of it.
It was so cute. Her little thumbs up.
Yep. Yep. Wheein and Solar weren't there for whatever reason. It was just Wasa and Moonbyul at the end. So then we'll basically just get into the self-evaluation vote.
This time they explained it beforehand.
Yeah, so they actually explained it, and they actually sat down and said all of them, instead of just showing a couple of them and then being really confusing at the end.
Oh, but did Lovelyz show theirs? I don't have it in my notes.
They didn't. They don't.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing, because they ended... That was really confusing, because I was just like, whatever. But they ended on a cliffhanger, so I don't know if they're going to show it at the end or like at the beginning of the next episode, or if they're just gonna once again.
But they already have the points.
Be incomplete,
so,
but that's true.
I don't know.
I forgot to show the points. So I guess we could deduce them. Let me look at it at the end. But so yeah, I have them all written down. So we have I-dle voted for Oh My Girl above them, and AOA under them. Oh My Girl.
The whole interaction of like not meeting expectations was hilarious.
Yep. Yeah. Oh My Girl said AOA was above them, and I-dle was below them. Mamamoo said I-dle was below them, and Oh My Girl was above them.
And the Binny face was created.
Yep, and Binny face was created, which you can see here, which is just utterly ridiculous. It's just so exaggerated and ridiculous.
Also, when Oh My Girl voted for AOA, Jimin's clapping and she's like finger gunning.
Yeah. Well, because right before that, I-dle voted AOA under them, and that was the whole thing of like, well, you don't care about points, right, Jimin? I don't care about ranking. And she was just so clearly like upset, and getting mad, and the hosts were just teasing her about it. So then Oh My Girl said AOA was better than them, and so they were Jimin was super happy and showing them a bunch of love. So Mamamoo said I-dle was below them, Oh My Girl was above them. Bomb said Oh My Girl was above her, and Lovelyz was below her. And then AOA said Oh My Girl was above them, and Lovelyz was below them.
I gotta say, I'm so surprised two groups put Lovelyz below them when Lovelyz is on the chopping block and like could get kicked off the show if they're last place.
Yeah,
especially for how nice they've been on the show. I'm like, whoa, I didn't think they'd do that.
Yeah, that did seem mean. Okay, so I'm looking at the thing, and it looks like Lovelyz voted Mamamoo above them, because Mamamoo has +1. And then they voted, let's see, what do we have? We have AOA minus, I-dle minus, I-dle minus, Lovelyz. So they voted I-dle below them.
Okay.
Because, the final ranking ended up with Oh My Girl at number 1 with +4 minus 0. Mamamoo at number 2 with +1 minus 0. So that must have been Lovelyz. AOA with +1 minus 1. Park Bomb with +0 minus 0. Lovelyz with +0 minus 2, and then I-dle with +0 minus 3. So Lovelyz must have been the other I-dle vote.
Yeah.
So they saved themselves from not being last by voting for I-dle as well. But they were still 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed they teased the special evaluations vote. They said that there's a 1 vote difference between first, second, and third. But then they did a cliffhanger on who won. So they didn't show Lovelyz evaluations for some reason, but we can deduce them. They didn't, then they cliffhangered on the special evaluators vote, and we have no idea how the crowd voted. So we'll have to wait till episode 5 to find out who won.
Yep, it's gonna be units.
Yep. So next will be units.
Spoiler: I'm pretty sure Lovelyz makes it because they're in the episode.
Well, yeah. And like we said, they don't, even if they got last again, I don't think they would actually cut any group out. But hopefully we don't have to test that anyway. So we don't really know how units are going to work or whatever, but we'll figure that out. I don't know if they're going to mix groups or...
Yeah, and like I forget who's all on like the trip together. It's like Hwasa, Hyojung, Bomb, like one member from each group goes on this trip. Next episode.
Yeah, I didn't, like I said, I didn't even watch the teasers. It showed a vacation house for a second, so I knew that was happening.
That came out a while ago.
Okay.
Of them. Yeah.
Okay. So let's close off with just our rankings overall. I mean, we gave all of our thoughts, so we don't need to go too in deep. It sounds like we're gonna have very different rankings, which is interesting because we were very similar last round. So for me, I think our obvious both of our number ones, Oh My Girl. Like I don't think that was contested. I think they were way above everyone else. For me, next I have Mamamoo, then Lovelyz, then AOA, then I-dle, and then Bomb. And my thinkings with this, so I had the same issue with Bomb as last time. I don't think she relied on Cheetah, which we said it's hard to say that's a negative, but I want her to show more, and I think I agree with what you said that them saying focusing on vocals was a bad idea was kind of wrong. Like, it would have been cool if she turned Han into a ballad and just went all out.
Ooh,
or like something crazy like that.
Like they said, like sing with resentment, like that would be so good.
Yeah, if it was just like a really angry ballad, like that would have been awesome.
Acapella Han.
Yeah, exactly. Like just do something that focuses on her. Instead, like they put so much focus on having this guest rapper and Cheetah showing up and like
all these dancers.
Yeah, and all these dancers, and I'm just like, whatever. So that's 20 of them. I didn't think so. I thought she was last. I-dle, like I said, didn't change enough. It was too similar to the original. This is not even taking into account all the controversy stuff or whatever. And then for me, Mamamoo, Lovelyz, and AOA, like I ranked them, but they are all very, very close. They're very interchangeable to me. I think Mamamoo, I liked what they did with their change up. Like, I like that they took into account what my criticisms with their last performance were and focused on them. Lovelyz, I think, went out.
I like how you make it sound like they listen to the podcast.
Well, no, I know, but because I was just so happy to hear Moonbyul say the exact things I said. I was like, oh my god, I know they didn't listen, obviously, but I'm just happy that they recognized. Of course, they didn't listen.
We recorded it after they had recorded.
That's true.
I didn't have time to listen. Yeah.
But yeah, so like the fact that they focus on themselves. I think Lovelyz, like I said, I was really happy that they just improved so much on how Achu went. And then I think AOA, once again, they got bonus points because they improved a song I don't like a lot, in my opinion. But then they also, I had that down, they lost some points because of that same thing of like focusing, like adding an element that took the focus away from them. So that was my ranking. I know a lot of people probably won't agree with it, and then obviously, Oh My Girl, million miles ahead of everyone else. Like, yeah, the rest of them are nowhere near Oh My Girl.
Yeah, the rest of the group suck. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, my ranking very different. Obviously, Oh My Girl's number one. Like that's. Yeah. I feel like they're going to be number one any ranking I do, but this was not biased. Like they're number one. Number two is AOA, and then it's a huge jump. Like those were the only two performances I actually just love, and I will listen to those and rewatch them. After that, this is where it gets weird because I'm like, I don't care. Like they're all kind of the same problem to me. I want I-dle next just because it's hype, and it's hype. I'll go with the hypeness. Then I want Bomb. Then I want Lovelyz, and last is Mamamoo.
Interesting.
Mamamoo is doing the same damn thing every single time. Ugh. I don't know. I think Mamamoo is too cocky right now. Same with I-dle. They're both just too cocky. And
I think I-dle definitely is. I don't know. About
they're very comfortable in their own thing that they're not changing it enough.
They don't. Yeah.
Whereas I think Oh My Girl and AOA are really
doing
like
well.
pushing themselves, and then Lovelyz just doesn't know who they are. Like, yeah. And then Bomb is Bomb. Like, I just love her. Like, she's along for the ride.
Yeah. Basically, that's a perfect way to describe Bomb's position on the show. She's just enjoying it.
This would have been like a whole different, I think, situation for having a solo artist.
Yeah.
But like, I'm loving Bomb. Like, I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soyeon wouldn't want to have to face Chungha again. She lost the first time, and she would lose again. So yeah, that's it. Any last thoughts on episodes 3 and 4 of Queendom?
I don't think so. Yeah,
I think I'm good too. So yeah.
I guess just adding in the impact this has had on Oh My Girl. Okay, going into huge impact
on a bunch of people.
Going into this, I never thought Oh My Girl would stand. Oh My Girl stood no chance for this show to me. Like, and the whole show, like, I think going into it, everyone's just like, "What's the point? Mamamoo and I-dle are just gonna like
crush them.
Like they're just gonna destroy." And like, it's like, why bother with these like rounds?
Why bother bringing back AOA when they haven't done anything in years?
It's just like the whole first 2 rounds seem pointless because it doesn't really have an impact on who wins. Yeah. But this just showed like, wait, there is an impact. Like, Oh My Girl now has like all this attention now. Like they're charting, they just like people know them now.
Yeah.
And I think this is just so cool to see of like, okay, maybe Oh My Girl has a shot now. Like people might not just be 100% biased of their group that they want to win. Like, I don't know, like it gives me hope, you know? And it just makes me so happy to see Oh My Girl crush this round and everyone just praising Oh My Girl because they are very forgotten. And it's just it was just really cool to see. And I hope that this does help them for when it actually comes to the competition part of it.
Yeah,
that was it. We can end now.
Yeah, I think it's nice that I think it's having an impact on a lot of them. I think AOA is getting attention again, which when they were basically like a forgotten group.
Bad attention.
I-dle, well, yeah, but that's also that like in the grand scheme of things won't matter at all because Korea doesn't care. But like I said, I don't want to get into that. But yeah, and then like you said, even with Oh My Girl charting, they also got Destiny charting, so that gets Lovelyz attention.
Yeah. Windy Day came back on the chart. All these Oh My Girl songs are like back on the chart. It's pretty insane. And yeah, this show has just been so amazing for AOA and Oh My Girl.
Yeah.
That's just so cool.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, that's it for a QueendomCast episode 2. If you enjoyed it, like I said at the beginning, thumbs up the video and subscribe. Hit the bell, I guess you need to do. I always forget about that. And yeah, leave your comments in the YouTube comments. Let us know what you
give
thought
us your ranking
of the performance. Give us your rankings. Who are your favorite groups? All that stuff. And then, if you want to listen on audio, even though you've already listened to the whole episode, so I don't know why you'd be taking that advice now. We're on, or if you want to listen to Daebak on audio, it's on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, and most podcast services. And join our Discord and come hang out with me and Sam and the rest of the Truly Daebak crew and our small, amazing group of fans who hang out pretty much every day and just talk about everything. So, thanks for listening, and see you next time.